Okay, it's a time for another little bit of a look at what we are going to need and use. In our energy topic, we are going to be measuring the amount of energy lost as a ball bounces. And so we need to measure the rebound height each time we drop it. And of course, that means making careful measurements. We've found a nice little app to help us do this, and so we're going to be using this app, and I suppose we're going to start by learning how to use this app as we go from measuring using more traditional means to measuring using electronic means. As with all activities, setup is the key. If we set up correctly the first time, then it means we have very, very good data because our collection technique is good. Now, one of the major things we need to do is to video the ball as it bounces. And so we're going to practice this a bit. And we have to keep the iPad extremely still. So what we do is we use a tripod support. And we've practiced using that. We did that today, and we'll continue practice doing that in the next couple of lessons. So we know exactly what we have to do, because if our video is good quality, then our results will be excellent. It's a really cool piece of equipment we're going to be using. The app itself will actually take measurements off the video. So we have to help it by providing it with a reference point. Now, the reference point we're going to use is a meter rule because it has an exact measurement. Now, you can see how I've set up the meter rule in the picture on the screen. It is simply getting a retort stand, a boss head and a clamp and attaching the meter rule. Now, the meter rule should be in the frame, the video frame, all of the time we are using it. And once we have set that size right on our video, it will do everything for us. So it makes making distances and judging distances and heights so much easier because it will give us a beautiful graph based upon what we've instructed it to do. As with all activities, there are certain risks, and we know there are so many of the glass windows in the areas around where our lab is. And so we need to make sure that we are mindful of these glass because we can hurt ourselves very, very quickly if we break glass. So it's not a good idea to be a little bit lazy with. The other thing is there are chairs and tables there. So we have to position ourselves so we are not going to bump into and trip over any of these sort of obstacles that are around. It may sound a bit silly, but believe it or not, it is going to work so much better if we practice. Because when we do our first video, the ball might not be clear, it might bounce all over the place. So we have to try to get to a situation where we can make sure we are getting good quality data. In this case, it is good quality video. And so what we do is practice. Once we've worked out how to make the best video, then we will get the best data. So make sure you try things and make sure when you try it, you use the app to check the video and do the tracking. If it's going to be, it might be a beautiful video, but the tracking might be very, very, very bad. And that means our results aren't going to be very good. As soon as we've done our video, one of the best things we can do is to review it and have a look. Is it clear enough? There's no point in using an unclear video if our ball does not appear to be easy to see, if the background makes it hard to see, then we need to be able to move into a position where we can fix this up. Are you able to see the ball bouncing? Are you able to see two bounces? Or does it simply bounce out of view, out of our vision? And we must make sure that everything we do, if we use a smaller ball in particular, it can become not so clear. So we have to try to make sure our video compensates for this. Right, we have a goal, and the goal is to come up with good data. And the only way we can do that is to make sure that our video is basically foolproof, which means it's so easy to use, we have no trouble and we get fantastic results. Making sure that the ball movement is easy for us to track and we don't get tracking spots underneath other tracking spots. So maybe we need to have the ball moving a little bit away from us. That's something you need to work with it. And then we have to make sure that we keep the ball within the view screen, because remember, the iPad is going to be fixed in one spot and we want the ball to stay within the screen.